How you doing, fan band? This is Chris Mizo here, and I'm excited to share with you I have Nvidia's newest card in my hands, and that is the RTX 4090. It is from Gigabyte's Windforce Overclock Edition, and I was lucky enough to get my hands on it through Newegg. Because of that purchase, I do really want to run some tests on it because I will be running it up against a RTX 3080 Ti, and that's from Asus Strix Overclock Edition. Now, I do want to mention a couple things here. I will be installing it in the 12900K build that I currently have. I will be using the same power supply, which is the EVGA G6 1000 watt power supply. Currently for Nvidia's RTX 4090, in order to reach 600 watts of power that is needed for the card, it's actually more optional. If you want to get the 600 watts of power, you need a power supply that's over 1200 watts. I managed to get my hands on a Thermaltake GF3 that is 1650 watts. I will be installing that into the AMD build and see if there is any power difference between the two, comparing it from the Intel 12900K to the AMD Ryzen 7950X. If you haven't seen the benchmarks on both of those processors, make sure you click the card right above my head. Without further ado, we're going to open this up and I'll show you exactly what it contains, and we're going to compare the size, the width, and see exactly what kind of specifications that both GPUs do offer compared the RTX 3080 Ti and the RTX 4090. Let's open this up here. And I don't know what it is, but with all Gigabyte products here, they all seem to not like to use some sort of tape on here. So that always makes me feel like it's an open product, but who knows if it was open or if it was sent to somebody else before and they had to send it out. But it comes into this premium deluxe box. I always do love the quality that you do receive from Gigabyte. And if you didn't know, Gigabyte was one of the very first motherboards that I used to build one of my AMD Athlon PCs. Inside here, you have a nice little foam presentation here. As you see here, whoop, that dropped. We will take off this foam here. And here is the card in hand. And it is massive. And just to show you how massive it is compared to the size of my head here, or my arm, it's about almost the full size of my arm here. It is a large difference. Make sure to install the bracket that Gigabyte does supply with their card here. Now, before we open up the main event, this is what I'm talking about here. How we'll have to use this at first, but after we do the Thermaltake GF3 power supply, I will make a video on that when I do install it, and we will test out the RTX 4090 on that as well to see what kind of numbers we get, if 450 watts is really a big difference from 600 watts. Also comes with these, it looks like these mounting screws here to get this bracket here that you can install. So let's open this up here. Originally, I wanted to get the water force of the Geforce RTX 4090, but that was impossible to get my hands on. It was going to be the one with the 360 millimeter AIO, but that would be really a pain to test on both systems. Anyway, pull this out. Wow, the smell of fresh plastic. There it is, all its glory. The massive RTX 4090 here. As you can see, it has the 3 display ports and the HDMI 2.1. Not that much difference from the RTX 3080 Ti. Has the 3 Windforce fans here for improved cooling. And then on the back of the actual board, you can see how nice that looks. Matter of fact, let me turn this back around so I can show you this again. Yeah, if you look close enough, you could see the heat sinks through the fans here at this angle. It is a really nice looking design. to it. And as you can see, the brand new PCI Express 5.0 power, kind of ironic to have this if this GPU isn't going to be a PCI Express 5.0 GPU. More than anything, it seems like it's just for show. We will set it next to the Asus graphics card, or the Asus RTX 3080 Ti graphics card, so you can get a good idea of how massive this size is. This is what you want to watch for in cases, which I'm kind of nervous about. And if you look at the width of it, let me turn it this way so you get a better idea. But if you take a look at the width of it, that is about 150 millimeters. So make sure that your case can fit it before you do make a purchase. And there was actually a spreadsheet out on Reddit, which I'll share on the link right down below in the description box, if you're looking to purchase a RTX 4090 to see if it fits in your case. That's kind of an important case, because remember, you're not just going to measure the actual graphics card yourself, but you also are going to have to measure the actual cable. Once you actually install that cable and bend it, you got to make sure that it doesn't snap off, or that it doesn't, or it actually fits in your case, because otherwise you're just gonna end up damaging it, or worst case, you damage your motherboard and your GPU, which is some significant damage you want to avoid. So first things first, let's remove all this plastic here. So let's install this into the PC. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna remove the case cover to access where the GPU is. As the RTX 3080 Ti is removed, make sure you measure up this bracket here to see how it would fit. You will have to remove 2 of the motherboard screws that you usually have installed in order to install the Gigabyte bracket, because they will give you a mount that will actually go into the 2 screw holes that are now open, as you see in this Ziploc bag. So from here, you're gonna grab the mount that just looks like this and make sure the thread fits inside the hole, and then install this plastic washer. Once you put the plastic mount and washer on, it's supposed to be non-conductive so it doesn't ground out your motherboard or any other of your PC components. So just make sure you connect it just like how I have it, and then you're gonna install it into both holes of the motherboard that are now open. Now, if you're having any problems with the fitment of the Gigabyte mount, make sure you just grind down the side of it with a Dremel or some sort of grinder. It won't take much to do it. Make sure you grab the screws with the washer and make sure you install those in place. Once you install those into the mounts, make sure you tighten it by hand. Do not use a drill or anything of that nature to tighten it, because it can crack or it can end up stripping out your screws, because this is not true metal. Now we're good to go. Make sure you grab a couple more screws, because you will also have to install the bracket onto your Gigabyte OC RTX 4090, as you see with these 3 holes. Just line it up just like this. Make sure it's looks like an L shaped, and it will be conformed with the GPU. As so, you're going to install the screws in each hole by hand at first, and then we're going to tighten it down with the screwdriver. We're good to go to install it. And please remember, when you do install this GPU, it goes under the bracket, as you see in this video right here, and then click it into place. Once it clicks into place, now you can install the mounting screw for the bracket, so it will have supported weight being held by this bracket, and then plus the screws that you install onto the side of your PC case.
If you are using the adapter or so, please be careful, because as you know, there are issues currently with this adapter. Make sure you check the quality before you use it, but you would simply hook it up with PCI Express using 3 different ports in order to hook up to the new 12-volt high power port. Whew. Just felt like we just built a PC just to install this RTX 4090. Now time to test this bad boy out. The funny thing about using the RTX 4090 so far, as you notice, it doesn't use 100% utilization of the RTX 4090, but we will see future titles if that will hold, or future firmware. Games such as Control seems to work a little bit better, but I'll let you get right back to the benchmarks so you can see for yourself. As you notice with the RTX 4090, when the GPU utilization drops down away from 100% or even less, it seems that the performance isn't as well as the RTX 3080 Ti. And again, this is something that could be more firmware related, as becoming the first adapters. I don't see certain titles doing too well on the RTX 4090. You can see a much better performance from games such as Cyberpunk 2077, which is Nvidia's optimized games such as DLSS 3 and ray tracing. It performs much better because RTX 4090 is getting close to 100% utilization, and you can see much better frame improvement. Halo has a much more improved score from the RTX 4090 compared to the RTX 3080 Ti, which has been most impressive compared to the other benchmark results. I gotta say, with this current driver, this was a bit disappointing. Bam guys, I hope you found this content very useful. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you know anybody else who is into PC and tech, make sure you share this video with them. And also, if not part of the big wonderful fan band, make sure you go down and hit the subscribe button right here. And make sure you don't forget to hit the notification bell for all the newest updates. Make sure you follow my Twitter handle, and it is the same as my TikTok and IG as well. Bam guys, what do you think of the RTX 4090's performance so far? Are you disappointed, or are you hoping for better results when newer drivers are released? It is still early. Plenty more testing will undergo with this card. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Chris Mizo signing out.